Imagine a weapon that can cross a continent in under an hour, moving so fast the air around it glows. Unlike ballistic missiles, which follow predictable arcs, these weapons can twist and turn, dodging defenses. This is the reality of hypersonic weapons, now at the center of a dangerous global arms race. The US, Russia, and China are pouring billions into these systems, convinced they'll change the rules of warfare. Their speed and maneuverability threaten to make existing missile defenses obsolete, creating a profound sense of vulnerability. Any nation that falls behind fears it won't be able to protect itself from a sudden, unstoppable attack. The race isn't just about speed, it's about shifting the balance of power that's kept a fragile peace for decades. Russia has already used hypersonic missiles in Ukraine, while China and the US are racing to catch up. Each new test adds tension to an already unstable global security environment. These weapons can carry conventional or nuclear warheads, and their launch could be misinterpreted, potentially triggering a catastrophic response. Their speed compresses decision-making for world leaders from hours to minutes, leaving almost no room for error. As nations prepare for conflict at 5 times the speed of sound, the world edges closer to a precipice. One miscalculation could have unimaginable consequences. The hypersonic age has arrived, and the stakes have never been higher. What makes a weapon hypersonic? It's not just speed, though these travel over Mach 5 or more than a mile per second. ICBMs have hit hypersonic speeds for decades, but their predictable high-arc flight paths make them interceptable. Hypersonic weapons are different. They're designed to be unpredictable. There are 2 main types. First, the hypersonic cruise missile, powered by scramjets, flies low and maneuvers like an airplane, hugging terrain and dodging radar. Second, the hypersonic glide vehicle, or HGV, is launched by a rocket, then detaches and glides through the upper atmosphere, swerving at incredible speeds. This combination of speed and maneuverability makes them a nightmare for defenders. Current missile defenses are built to counter predictable ballistic arcs, relying on sensors to track incoming threats. Hypersonic weapons fly too low and fast for many sensors to track effectively. By the time defenders get a lock, it's often too late to intercept. This technological gap is why nations are racing to develop them. The challenge isn't just building faster missiles, it's about outsmarting defenses. Hypersonic weapons could render existing security systems obsolete. Their unpredictability and speed are rewriting the rules of modern warfare. The world's militaries are scrambling to adapt. The hypersonic revolution is here. The hypersonic arms race is led by the US, Russia, and China, each with unique motivations. Russia and China feared US missile defenses could neutralize their nuclear deterrents, so they invested heavily in hypersonic technology. Russia, leveraging Soviet-era research, was first to declare operational hypersonic weapons, using them to deter NATO and assert power. China's hypersonic program is central to its military modernization, aiming to counter US naval forces and threaten bases across the Indo-Pacific. For Beijing, these weapons are both a shield and a sword, deterring intervention and projecting power. The US, once focused on research, now scrambles to catch up after underestimating rivals' progress. The Pentagon is accelerating hypersonic programs across all branches, aiming to match or surpass adversaries. The goal: deter aggression and defeat advanced enemy defenses. Even smaller powers like Japan are joining the race, fearing vulnerability in a rapidly changing security landscape. The competition is fierce and the stakes are global. Hypersonic weapons are reshaping military strategy and international power dynamics. The race is on, and no one wants to be left behind. Russia was the first to use hypersonic weapons in combat, showcasing its Kinzhal missile in Ukraine. The Kinzhal, launched from fighter jets, reaches Mach 10 and is nearly impossible to intercept. Its use sent a clear message. Russia possesses advanced weapons that NATO may not be able to stop. Russia is also developing the Zircon, a sea-launched hypersonic cruise missile threatening US carrier groups and coastal targets. The avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicle, capable of carrying nuclear warheads, can evade any known missile defense. In 2024, Russia unveiled the Oreshnik missile, further expanding its hypersonic arsenal. These weapons serve both practical and psychological purposes, deterring adversaries and projecting power. Russia's diverse hypersonic family aims to secure its strategic edge for decades. The battlefield has become a proving ground for the next generation of warfare. China's hypersonic progress is stunning, with the DF-17 missile at its core. Designed to strike bases and fleets with precision, the DF-17 threatens US assets across Asia. China's strategy is clear: create a zone too dangerous for US forces to operate near its shores, especially in a Taiwan conflict. The DF-17's speed and maneuverability make it nearly impossible to intercept, challenging decades of military balance. In 2024, China announced a breakthrough in hypersonic defense, a radar system that can track multiple Mach 20 threats. This dual focus on offense and defense could give China a unique strategic advantage. If successful, China could shield itself while maintaining a powerful strike capability. The ambition is not just to compete, but to dominate the hypersonic race. China's advances are reshaping the security landscape in Asia and beyond. For the US, the hypersonic race is now urgent. After years of leading in research, America watched Russia and China weaponize the technology first. The Pentagon is now racing to close the gap, investing billions across all military branches. The Army's long-range hypersonic weapon, or Dark Eagle, is the flagship program. Dark Eagle uses a rocket booster and a hypersonic glide body, reaching Mach 17 in recent tests. The first operational battery is set for deployment in 2025, giving commanders the ability to strike high-value targets from afar. The US plans to deploy Dark Eagle missiles in Europe and the Indo-Pacific, signaling resolve to allies and adversaries alike. Multi-domain task forces will ensure rapid response in key regions. However, the US lags in hypersonic defense. Systems to shoot down these weapons are years away. This creates a dangerous window where America can strike but can't reliably defend. The imbalance adds new risks to global security. The US is racing not just to catch up but to restore strategic stability. The outcome will shape the future of warfare. The hypersonic race now includes Japan, driven by threats from China and North Korea. Japan's hypervelocity gliding projectile, or HVGP, is designed to defend its islands and deter aggression. Successful tests in 2024 marked a major leap, with deployment planned as early as 2026. Japan is investing heavily, aiming for longer-range versions by 2030. The goal? Create a credible counter-strike capability and complicate any adversary's invasion plans. This marks a shift from Japan's post-war defensive posture to a more assertive deterrent strategy. Hypersonic weapons are now central to Japan's evolving security policy. The message is clear: any attack will be met with swift, powerful response. Hypersonic weapons' greatest danger is the confusion they create, warhead and target ambiguity. Most can carry either conventional or nuclear warheads, making it impossible to know a missile's intent at launch. Leaders have only minutes to decide how to respond, risking catastrophic miscalculation. Their unpredictable flight paths make it hard to predict targets, increasing pressure for preemptive action. This blurs the line between conventional and nuclear war, raising the risk of accidental escalation. Military strategies envision deep strikes that could be mistaken for nuclear attacks, prompting adversaries to consider first use. The speed and ambiguity of hypersonic weapons shorten decision times and heighten global instability. The world is now on a hair trigger where a single error could spark disaster. The hypersonic age demands new thinking about crisis management. The risks have never been higher. As hypersonic weapons proliferate, experts warn of a more volatile, unstable world. Calls for arms control are growing, but managing these weapons is uniquely challenging. Their dual-use nature blurs the line between military and civilian tech, complicating regulation. Some suggest focusing on transparency and limiting certain military doctrines rather than banning the technology outright. Yet trust among major powers is at a low point, making cooperation difficult. Without new agreements, the hypersonic race could spiral out of control. These weapons are a symptom of deeper global insecurity. The quest for stability is now a race against time and technology.